So Zelda has said that he wants to see bombs early, and I'm assuming that is so he can blow open the wall and escape without having to backtrack there. And
Yeah,
we have a very nice message from the uncle.
We've seen too many races this tournament where progression is locked behind that bombable wall, and I know that I've seen at least 2 or 3 where runners lost significant amounts of time because they did not have a bomb by the end of escape.
All right, so real quick, what are you hoping to see here as the uncle's weapon?
I want to see bombs. I'm not good at the game. I want to see racers who are get bombs, but I'll take a Cane of Burna.
Cane of Burna is not bad.
No, it's just one you gotta conserve your magic with.
Yeah, you do have to be somewhat careful. It can be tough to try and farm bombs like that. Zelda's actually taking advantage of the 2 magic pots that are here to get some extra magic for a kill on these 2 first cards to try and get some bombs. It's a common thing that you see from runners in the escape sequence. Try and kill as many guards as you can in a reasonable amount of time, or rats, you know, to see if you can get a bomb drop to appear.
So if you haven't seen a randomizer before, if you're watching one of these for the first time, the goal is going to be the same as in regular Link to the Past, where you want to get the 7 crystals to open Ganon's tower, kill Aghanim, and then kill Ganon. The trick is, though, all your item locations have been randomized. Nothing's going to be necessarily locked out, but you might find the bow in Death Mountain. You might find the Red Cane in Eastern Palace. These racers will have to get all 7 crystals, which may be in Light World or Dark World, using these items and route their way through.
That's right. But in the mode that we are playing, which is specifically standard mode, runners do have to complete the Hyrule Castle escape sequence first. Zelda's getting an 8 bomb drop.
That's big.
That's very good. He'll be able to have bombs for the items in the back of the sewers, and we'll also have some left over to explore Kakariko and maybe mini Moldorm Cave without any issues. So the way that item drops work in this game, there's a prize pack system that basically means that Azurell's going to get this bomb drop as well, most likely. He's both these runners are also grabbing pots to try and throw at the ball and chain guard. Oh no, this is not good for Azurell.
Yeah, he's going to take a intentional death to regain some magic.
That's actually really unfortunate for him right now, because he's going to have to go all the way back to the basement. That save and quote point at Zelda Cell does not set until you actually rescue her.
You know, we talked earlier about conserving magic, and that's why.
Yeah, actually, probably the best thing to do there would be to go back upstairs and then come back down and respawn the pots. The ball and chain guard will die in 2 pots, and that's probably the best way to kill it if you get a Cane of Burna start, because of you need to conserve your magic. That's it. But he probably just panicked and wasn't thinking about it in the heat of the moment.
Yeah, these races are they're already just high pressure being in the tournament, being restreamed, and also being in a 0-2 position. Tension's high, and nerves will get the best of anybody in this situation.
I really do think a Cane of Burna start is not very difficult, but if you're not experienced with it or practiced in it, then if you don't know exactly the right things to do, it can be really tough. Also, yes, I also caught that Xelnas chose to go back to the main lobby of the castle via the right side, which is something you don't see very often. It's the exact same speed, pretty much, but I think the guards are often in worse positions on the right, and that's why everyone goes to the left.
Yeah, Xelnas is about to pick up this key here from the rat.
Using his last bit of magic to do so. He does have 5 bombs, so wouldn't be totally screwed if he missed that, but he's pretty much in the clear now. And he's going to check these 3 items in the back.
Getting a bug catching net. Getting 100 rupees as well. That's going to be nice for bottle vendor. You can find a good bit of rupees just under pots in Kakariko, but just having that extra 100 right from the start is really nice.
Yeah, the 100 rupees really being the only thing in the back there of any value. Alright, so we probably have a minute and a half to 2 minute difference, but it is randomizer. Their decision making later in the game will come into play a lot more than this difference we see here.
Yeah, one of the things I really, really like about randomizer is that at any given point, it is kind of difficult to tell who is necessarily in the lead. Unless somebody is in go mode and in Ganis Tower when somebody else isn't, there's always a shot. And Xelnas refilling some of his magic off of the tree pole.
Also getting magic as the drop from the bush crab. This seed just seems to want to give them magic. And seeing a 20 rupees in the lumberjack cave.
Well, that checks off one box on why we may not have to do Aghanim. We'll just see what the Dark World access will give us.
I'm curious if Azurell is going to make that lumberjack check as well. We know it's nothing now, but a lot of runners will. I think runners are divided on whether they choose to check it or not. Like some say it's pointless to check without having the boots. Xelnas fighting the mirror in the Thieves' Hideout. It's a nice early find.
Yeah, it's not necessarily 100% required in a lot of locations, but it makes the game go a lot faster early on.
One thing I really like about having the mirror early is, as soon as you go to the Dark World, you're not going to have to route around staying in the Dark World and like being trapped there. I feel like this comes into play a lot on Death Mountain if you don't have the mirror. House of Darkness is also a pretty bad dungeon without the mirror.
Yeah. Now, getting the lamp in Blind's Hut, getting that relatively early as well.
Yeah, I know that's a relief for a lot of people because the dark rooms you have to do without it can be tricky. One thing that the lamp may possibly indicate is possibly having to go to Aghanim's tower for Dark World access.
Yeah, Xelnas is not wanting to see a cape or an early Master Sword at any point right now. He wants to find either gold gloves or gloves and a hammer and a moon pearl. But he finds the flute.
Yeah, it looks like we have decent ways to get around right off the bat. Just 3 bombs for the ball vendor, and Zelnos remembering to go straight to the weather vane and activate that flute.
Sure, getting a good 80 rupee drop off that tree.
Yeah, so I'm guessing that's the tier 1 tree pull. Tier 2 is what you're normally going to get coming out of a standard mode escape, because you've killed more than 4 enemies and taken damage. So tier 2, I think, is our magic drops, and tier 1 should be our red rupee.
And Azure's going to go ahead and do the Kakariko loop here. Xelnas finding it looks like a heart piece in Chicken Hut. And going to go check the back of Cross Products Tavern here. There's our map check. It looked like it was a blue pennant up at Hera. I thought I saw a blue crystal at Desert and a red crystal at Eastern.
I saw that as well, except I can't confirm the Hera pendant. But it looks like chat is able to.
Thank you, chat. Got our back. I'm selling this with the blind maze play. I always like this.
This is one I personally don't like doing because it costs a bomb. You don't know if what you're going to see is useful. It is not useful. And person of the maze would rightfully refer to it as trash.
Having the mirror here is really handy, as you can just do the entire dam in just one pass. And just passes on the piece of heart. I'm going to Mini Motorhome Cave with Berna and bombs.
Oh, I like the use of Painted Burn here. Wow, that Moldarm in the top left's getting stuck in that pit like that. You don't see that too often. But it did end up costing him all his magic when trying to hit it. Oh boy, we have a bottle from the new Moldarm NPC.
Getting a sword and the Moon Pearl, though. So there's one piece of the Dark World puzzle.
Yeah, the sword and Moon Pearl are really nice to have right now, but they don't give any immediate access to anything new. This bottle stands out to me because it unlocks the item from Sick Kid.
So I'm just going to go check Ice Rod Cave, it looks like.
I wonder if he'll flute back to Kakariko after this and check Sick Kid that bottle.
Looks like he's going to flute somewhere. It's going to be Death Mountain.
Yeah, Death Mountain's not a bad option here. It does have the mirror and can go into Hera. It does have a fire source to complete Hera, but it is a pendant. But we can also at least see what's on here.
Yeah, if he had more rupees, I would expect him to fake flip her over to Zora. to pick up the waterfall chest as well. But he's only got 107 right now.
Yeah, the Moon Pearl is actually going to allow them to do a water walk glitch to allow them to pick up the waterfall cave chests, if they choose to do that. But
And there's that Master Sword. If it is looking more and more like Aghanim, I would absolutely head up there and do that water walking before doing Aga.
yeah, if the game intends you to defeat Aghanim as your Dark World access, doing logic sequence breaks that the randomizer doesn't expect, like a fake flip ring to Zora. If you get another item there that will give you Dark World access, that could be a way to skip Aghanim. Nobody really wants to do that 5-minute tower climb because it's rather agonizing.
Agonizing.
I feel like Zelda isn't quite sure if he wants to dip Hera or not. Or maybe he just wasn't sure what item he wanted.
Looks like they are going to be able to finish at least get the pendant out of Hera. You may not be able to get both items though, depending on what's in the basement.
Well, we have the lamp, so they do have access to the basement.
Never mind.
Alright, it is nice that he's getting the big key first, though, because that means the basement may not be required.
Hera's a pretty quick dungeon to complete anyways, aside from the basement. I always like to try to complete it if I'm up at Death Mountain and I can. There's our other Dark World check. It looked like green pendant was ice, and I think I saw a red pendant on East Town and red crystal in Skullwoods.
Sorry, red crystal is Skullwoods? Or...
Yeah, I think red crystal is Skullwoods and red pendant was Thieves Town. That's what I think I saw.
Okay, so crystals for the Big Bomb are Eastern and Skullwoods.
I don't think Azurell checked Ice Rod Cave, so it's made up a good bit of time here.
Yeah, he may check it later, we'll see. Depends where items end up leading him. Zelda's going for Master Sword spins on the Moldorm. Unfortunately, one of them actually landed as a poke, which does less damage than a spin. Normally with 3 spins, you can take out Moldorm without getting him to 1 health, which activates his really fast phase. But because of the poke, he did end up at exactly 1 health.
It's just a key, meaning he's going to have to go to the basement.
Yeah, no one wants to see that. You either have to gamble on skipping this item, or you have to sit through, I want to say it's 40 seconds of watching the tiles throw themselves at you.
Yeah, thankfully, at least in this room, you can use the blocks to just kind of have invincibility frames. If you want, Ganis Tower tile room is much worse, where you just have to dodge. And also dodge Ceiling Masters.
You do need a way to hit the switch from a distance properly and get into the blocks as they're forming like Zelda did. So it's nice that he had sword games for that, because I don't think he would have had a way to do that otherwise.
I don't think you can do it with the blue boomerang.
If you do an item dash, but we don't have the boots right now.
And not worth it to do the basement. Zelda's going to mirror out.
Do you think he'll go straight to Aga, or do you think we'll see some other checks?
There's still a couple other checks to do. He's going to go check Agina. He wants to run here at ledge. Which at this point they would need either both gloves or a glove and the hammer. They have, I think, 4 items that they can really check. And there's Blue Mail. I would probably go do Aga at this point. Oh, you can check Bottle Kit as well. So yeah, he's got 4 items that he can feasibly check, but he needs 500 rupees for one of them.
I'm glad he's going here, because this is an easy location to forget. But it does not seem to be worth it.
Yeah, looks like he is just going to... Oh no, he can still go check Sasarasha. And he's just not going to do that.
His hospital is a good check because it's 3 items. And he has the flute, so it wouldn't take that long to get to. But it is, like, statistically, it's very likely at this point they're going to have to do Aghanim. And they do have the Moon Pearl, so they'll be able to start going to... actually, I think Palace of Darkness would be their only option. But they do have option, an option at least, in the Dark World. And he is summoning the guards over to his double spin attack with the flute. I like this.
Big plays, big plays. Looks like Azurell is going to go ahead and fake flipper. Going to check out Hobo. Going to check out the Moon Pearl Waterfall chest as well.
He did a fake flipper setup with a bomb. There is a setup using the bush on the other screen, but this bomb is very easy to do. It'll always... the damage boost will always put you in the right pixel. And we see the Bombas medallion on like Highlight Island. May come into play later. The 2 medallions for Misery Mire and Turtle Rock entry are randomized.
Oh no! Azurell takes a hit and dies due to it. When you're fake flippering, normally the game can soft lock. However, in Randomizer, they've changed to where you just die in one hit no matter what. The only thing that changed that is if you do it on the screen that you initially fake flippered on, it'll just route you back.
Yeah, the instant death is a soft lock prevention, which is good. You do die instantly and have to go back to wherever you were, but you don't lose all your progress at your last save, so much better alternative. Looks like he's opting to check Sasro instead. So we'll see if there's something useful here that Xelnas has missed out on. That fake flipper death is pretty unfortunate. Actually, oh wow, it's on Discord. That's going to speed up his Aga Tower, his inhabitable Aga Tower climb a little bit. I'm pretty sure he's gonna have to do that. But yeah, that pig flipper dies. That actually also happened to my opponent in my race yesterday. I don't see it happen very often, but if you're slow on the screen before the bridge, or you get stuck on a rock or something, that guard can actually shoot you if you're on top of the bridge.
Yeah, that guard every now and then has just like precision sniper sight.
So like the way I always do it, he always shoots directly at me, but I always get under the bridge before the arrow reaches anywhere near me. But like if you get caught on anything, you're really easy to die there. Oh, and we have an Eastern dip as well.
Yeah, you got the red boomerang from the first chest. So only 2 items left in Eastern.
So Zelda has missed 2 red items so far from not doing the Sahasra Eastern check. So I'm actually hoping to see Kano Samare here. See another red item.
Fire rod, boots, or cape.
Wouldn't it be amazing if the bow was here?
Again, it did get checked. I think it was a bomb upgrade. Oh, again, it was the blue mail.
So that was all that says Darkworld access. We're about to see what's on the pyramids for him as well. And nothing much, it looks like. So he really doesn't have much in the way of options in Darkworld. He pretty much has to go to Palace of Darkness. No flippers or a hookshot or even a glove upgrade to go to Catfish. No hammer. What is nice actually is Zelda does have the mirror, so he can also route in the Sahasra and Eastern checks at the same time if he doesn't find anything in Palace of Darkness.
Yeah, and if it is a dark, like an Aghanim required Dark World, we'll have to find something here in Pod.
It'd be kind of interesting if I haven't been counting Easter items, but what if Azrael finds the gloves in this last chest in Eastern, and then chooses to go Catfish instead because he has the option? Okay, that didn't happen.
That 300 might actually make him try to go back and do fake flippering again.
Yeah, you're right. This is getting interesting.
I'm just going to check Agina first.
Yeah, Zelda's actually missing Kiki the monkey a little bit because he had invincibility frames from using the mirror, and Kiki doesn't follow you if you have invincibility frames. But he noticed right away. I've actually I walked all the way to the entrance of the dungeon without noticing Kiki wasn't with me. So we're likely to see Key in this first chest because it's probably not going to be bow locked at this rate. This is probably where the progression is.
Yeah, we got I think 3 locations that are bow locked. We got the 2 in the back behind the mimics, and then Homosaur himself.
Yeah, the thing is that if you don't get a key in that first chest, the entirety of pod is bow locked because your only way forward is going to be through the right side. So he's getting a key on the arena bridge, and he's choosing to go straight to the back here. It does not have the big key. May have to come to the back a second time if he doesn't find it to open that big chest. Oh wow, the hook shot.
That's big.
That is pretty big. It's so big actually that it's normally in a big chest. Would you like to tell us why it is so big?
So that would really point me up going back up to Light World Death Mountain at this point. Unless he finds something else in here.
Yeah, that's going to give him, is it 7 items that he can get in Paradox Cave?
Yeah, 7, and then do Spiral Cave as well. Azrael, just go ahead and do Aghanim. Thinking that the 4 items from Hobo / Zora area not going to hold progression for him.
Alright, so luckily for Zelda, he did get the big key in the back. I was able to check the big chest. Now he's just gonna route in these 2 chests here. Actually, not both of them. He doesn't have a key for the island chest. I think this also has to be a key to... No? Oh, my mistake. He's on the right side, so... I'll have to come back with Bo to get the remaining keys. Beat the dungeon.
I'll go ahead and route in a eastern dip here. We know he's not going to really find much in here, but...
I actually, like, if it were me, I think I would take a soak shot and I'd go straight to Death Mountain. Like, you are in the area. I can see the argument for coming here. But we also have the flute and the mirror. It's, like, I don't think it's that difficult to get to Eastern.
Yeah, and you don't have the bow, which is required to finish this dungeon.
Yeah, one thing you want to do is, not as a hard rule, but generally you want to avoid double dipping dungeons when you aren't able to complete them, because obviously it costs time to visit them extra times. Also, my PC isn't good enough to pre-record things, please.
And Azrael having a pretty decent Agathon here. He's about to finish up.
Yeah, that Tempered Sword definitely helped him out. So a lot more damage to those cards.
Yeah, Tempered lets you kill blue guards in 1 slash. When he gets Butter Sword, he'll be able to kill the red cards in 1, which is handy. Not necessarily required, but...
So this extra Eastern dip that Zelnus is doing, it's going to let Azrael hopefully catch up a little bit, although he did it himself. But Zelnus should still be the... Oh no, what is he doing? He's going to the back? He doesn't have the bow. Oh no, he's going to get rupees. I forgot about this rupee room. I think this room has 90 rupees or something.
Yeah, it's got 90.
Very interesting.
Max Plus Pi in the chat giving us a little quick index of what could necessarily be behind Pedestal. Looking at boots, bow, fire rod, ice rod, required medallions, or the red cane. And of course, like shovel, magic powder, mushroom could be on pedestal as well. That could lead to those.
Azurell is actually going north towards Catfish. He's not going to be able to do anything here.
Yeah, even if you could get past that little block right there, there's still a boots block, or not boots block, gloves block later on. And Xelnas is going to go ahead and fake flipper.
Okay, I'm really surprised that he's doing this play, considering he got the hook shot. The hook shot is like very... The hook shot is screaming deathmount at this point. And he's already done Agate Tower, so he's not going to recoup anything by getting good stuff out of the sequence break. But we didn't get a chance to see what is here, because Azurell died. Speaking of, actually, Xelnas did not really have a chance to die on that screen, because having defeated Aghanim, it has changed all the sprites on the overworld. So the Archer Guard is no longer here.
Yeah, he's going to loop back down. He's going to check out Waterfall Cave and Zora. Hookshot was in the 4 turtle room in pod. It is 12:01 a.m. Happy birthday to Azurell.
Yes, he did mention that it was going to be his birthday in the middle of this. It's a pretty neat way to spend it.
I think it was arrows and the 20 rupee in the Waterfall Cave. So yeah, looks like even with the sequence break, Aga would have been required. Just a little bit of love from Zora.
Okay, Azurell getting the hook shot. He's going to clear out as much of pod as he can. I'm kind of curious where he's going to go with this hook shot, but I don't think he really has any other options besides going to Death Mountain with it, because I think he's done everything else. Xelnas is
going to go to North Dark World, I guess. Which
he can't, though.
He can't get there.
Yeah, I don't think he realizes that. It's not terribly common to not have a glove at this point, so it's easy to forget.
Yeah, if Azurell finishes up pod and mirrors out and mirrors and goes to Death Mountain, you can make up a ton of time here.
Well, Hookshot can get him across the river, but he can't actually get to the point where he can use it. You need either flippers to jump in the river, just to swim to the ladder, or you need hammer or a glove to get the land stuff out of your way.
And there he goes over to Death Mountain.
I think he's going to feel behind at this point, just realizing that this was the play all along.
I would like to thank Zeldis for using the quarter heart speed beep. Big thank you to you, Zeldis.
I say normal speed or go home, but that's just me.
Oh, that's normal?
No. I personally like to do normal speed. It seems to make some people really upset, which makes me like doing it more.
And there's the hammer. Azurell just right behind him, getting through the rocks here.
Yeah, this is actually really close. They ended up doing pretty much all the same stuff in a wildly different order, but they are converging here. And I bet they're going to immediately diverge again, because this hammer is going to open up a lot of stuff for them.
And Fire Rod. Yeah, that's big.
Zelda's lining up a bomb jump here to quickly get to the top of Paradox Cave without having to exit and go in the other entrance. So he's going to be able to see what's on the Death Mountain floating island, and then he'll jump down and check what's in Spiral Cave.
There's Quake up there, so we know where two of the medallions are, both in mirror locations.
Yeah, that would actually be super crazy if they didn't get the mirror so early. He's at pretty low health. Hopefully he can survive this cave.
There's Red Cane. Again, not necessarily opening anything up, but that will be necessary this race.
Yeah, it's nice to get something like that acquired as early as this, honestly. Because you can spend a lot of time looking for it late game if you don't have it.
Zelda's having a little bit of trouble deciding where he wants to go. Deciding he is going to use the Hyrule Castle portal to go back in now. He's going to hook shot over to North Dark World. Yeah, they did dip Eastern Palace, and not much there. He does have the hammer now, so he is going to be able to hook shot over here at the Grass Arrow. I'm going to check that mirror location above the graveyard. Place where a lot of racers just don't like to go. It doesn't route well with a lot of things. But now's as good time I need to take care of that.
This is actually really interesting because it's not the fastest thing he could do right now. He still can't get to Catfish, by the way, because he doesn't have a boat. That absolutely requires one.
He can get to the 5 items down in Hype Cave, though.
Yeah, kind of interesting that he didn't do that. But also interesting because the Graveyard Ledge is normally a really trolly item location when you have a seed that's even as open as this is right now.
Azurell setting up fake flippers. Not going to find much of anything, but much like Zelda's not finding much of anything in Graveyard Ledge.
I think Zelda's actually does need to go this way to get to Village of Outcasts.
Yeah, he can't lift the Black Rocks yet.
You can't even lift the White Rock for like the top entrance to that portal, so he has to go this way, actually.
Zelda's getting sniped by the Zora. Having a tough time with fake flippering today.
Alright, so Azurell going back to Dark World. We'll see if they go to Hype Cave or if they follow Xelnas.
Xelnas is going to go ahead and at least dip in Skullwoods. He can complete it. And he catches a bee.
There's really no reason not to at this point.
Yeah.
Because it's a crystal. And the routing for this is like, it's difficult to get to Village of Outcasts. So anything that's like on the way he's going to want to do.
I feel like every race this tournament has had something good in Skullwoods.
Also, him catching that bee, Mafia is actually the only boss that takes damage from bees. So he may be planning to use that to help him in that fight.
Azurell going into Hype Cave. Finding a lot of nothing in there.
Hype Cave doing its job as usual. He's almost taking some time to try and get that pixel perfect hook shot through that spike.
Xelnas did find red mail here in Skullwoods. I have not seen the other item. I don't think we have yet.
Yeah, well, that's completely useless. I normally see, like, chat rate Hype Cave is something like around 2, 3 out of 10 pretty often. I'm liking the 0 out of 10s I'm seeing here.
Negative 10 out of 10, negative 3 out of 10.
Like, there's just seriously nothing even remotely redeeming there. Like, not even a good amount of rupees.
Negative as many stars as there are in the universe, and there are a lot of stars.
So, any bets on our next progression item?
I mean, I feel like gloves have to be somewhere soon. Maybe they're hiding behind a moth. Maybe they're being hidden in a plot of land that you pay a guy to dig up.
It's almost absolutely blasting mummies out of his way with the fire rod.
And there are our gloves in the digging game. So Azurell can't go too much further into Dark Kakariko, but he is going to mirror out.
Yeah, this is a nice place to find him, actually. He can just flute straight to 3 and take the portal. I know he's going to be where Zelmus is. Actually,
checked more locations as well.
Actually, I wonder if we're going to end up seeing the second glove anywhere in the village. Zelda's taking out Mafia with a bit of trouble, and we have the only non-mirlocked medallion. Actually, it's the only medallion accessible currently. Bombos is on Lake Island, which requires flippers, and Quake is on Death Mountain Island, which requires Titan's Mint.
Azurell's about to pass through here, and it's like he is just going directly to Moth.
Yeah, you can kind of do this dungeon in one of 2 ways. Oh wow, just barely gets grabbed there. He probably thought that he was safe to stand where he was standing. But yeah, there are kind of two ways to route Skullwoods. You can do the front part first, or the back half first. Just like depending, if you find two items straight away in the back, you know that all the keys and maps and compass and stuff are filling the front half, so you can skip those checks.
And there is the Butter Sword in the Sea House. Going to be making a lot of these other enemies and bosses a little bit more trivial.
Yeah, that's especially going to help on the blind fight that he's probably going to be doing soon. Oh wait, no, actually it won't help at all.
It'll help on pretty much every other boss, except for blind.
Yeah, you can. Sorry, go ahead.
I was gonna say, Zelda can actually do pretty much everything in Thieves Town right now. The only item that's required really for anything in Thieves Town is the hammer to get to the big chest. I don't think he even needs the gloves to lift the big block, does he?
You do need gloves to lift that block, but you can kill all the enemies and walk around the room to the left.
Right.
So that is going to lose him a little bit of time. I'm actually, honestly, I'm going to take a bet that he's not going to remember that, and he's going to try and lift the block. Because, like, when do you ever come across this situation? Also, he's found the boots, which is going to speed up his movement.
That is a great bunny sprite. And there's the other boots, or gloves.
Oh wow, okay, so all bets are off, I guess. So we do have both the gloves locked in and around the village.
I was actually really looking forward to him trying.
Yes, we found the second boots. Zelda's gonna travel with the speed of light. I'd like to see a ROM hack where you get a second boot upgrade that just gives you automatic spin speed everywhere.
Yeah, getting both gloves in this area, which Azrael's going to get a little bit sooner than Xelnas, it looks like, if he routes in Thieves Town, will lead directly into the frog, into the purple chest.
Yeah, there's a good chance that is what he'll do. He has the flute in the mirror to expedite that trip. And yeah, he'll be right there once he picks up Titan's Net.
Azrael having a really good moth fight.
And Chad is coming up with some absolutely awful ideas for what boot upgrades would do. This is a good reminder to never let Twitch chat choose anything.
Yeah, a simple misspeak of words leads to this. Xelnus fighting blind here. Doing a good job of dodging some of those blasts.
Oh, he's kind of dodgy. The situation. Two hearts can. Oh wait, no, he has red mail. He's fine. Also has the Cane of Berta. Cleans it up just fine. So actually, I wonder if Azrael is going to dip Thieves' Town since it was a pendant. They may choose to ignore it. They may choose to only check the first 4 chests.
And those first 4 chests had both the gloves upgrades and your boots, so very much value.
Yeah, and given that Azrael already has the second glove, or the other glove rather, may factor into a decision to just abandon the rest of the dungeon. We'll see. It's almost about to pick up his Titan's Mitt. Oh, I saw someone asking about the chess game, if the prizes are always in those specific chests. The way that it works in Randomizer is... Well, okay, so in vanilla, you have a 1 in 8 chance to get a heart piece in either of the chests. In Randomizer, it has changed so that whatever the prize is, if you don't get it on the first chest, you are guaranteed to get it on the second. So it's a 1 in 8 for the first one, and then 7 in 8 for the second. But you'll always get it.
Getting our Bonk Rocks check.
Yeah, this is interesting. He wanted to go straight here to do these checks since he got the boots. I'm actually like, it's actually like, I guess a little bit unfortunate that he already did the Graveyard Ledge check, because this would have been a great time to route it in as well.
Yeah, that's one of those locations where there's not very many good times to route that in. I feel like it's a lot like in this cave, where, all right, you either do it at when you're doing these, or you go out of your way to do it.
Oh wow, he forgot he doesn't have the flippers. I think he was really planning on doing a catfish check now.
That's dangerous. Catfish can eat frogs.
I actually... I guess that's true.
Catfish are terrifying. As somebody who has grown up in the South, those things are monsters, and we should just get rid of them. But blacksmith are alright. We'll see what this guy gives us. Just 20 rupees. Zelda's going to go back in the Dark World to... betting he's going to go check out the purple chest and peg the pegboard here.
Noodly Step's like the scariest thing ever. So Titans opens up a fair bit to that.
Yeah, they can go check the mire area. They can check Dark World Death Mountain.
I usually like checking both those things as soon as I can. As soon as I go Titans. Not always, but the knowledge of what medallions unlock those dungeons is really good.
Yeah, there's a chance they can feasibly do Mystery Mire right now. They may need to go get one of the medallions, which they have access to both of them at the moment now, so... See, Ice Palaces, I think the Ice Palace and the Swamp are the only ones that they can't actually get into right now, just because they don't have flippers. Ice Palace can be gotten into with fake flippers.
Yeah, but of course that's not in logic. The randomizer will not expect you to do that. So it will never place flippers there or anything that leads to flippers.
And Ice Palace is a pendant anyway, so it's green pendant, but it's a pendant dungeon.
Zelda passes up a full heart container and ends up getting another one anyways.
Which at this point we are just looking for bow, ice rod, and flippers. We could possibly be needing to pick up either Bombos or Quake, but those may not necessarily be necessarily.
Aghanim 1 had Dark World access that was required.
Zelda's gonna go check his hype cave now.
And he's going to be very unsurprised at what he finds.
There haven't been a lot of really hype caves in this tournament that I've seen. Just call it something else anymore. Non-plussed cave.
I mean, once a name sticks, it's really hard to unstick it. I mean, I don't necessarily blame these guys for, at least Zelda, for skipping heart containers, because he does have the red now.
And Azurell is going to take the chest on a World Tourist of the Frog. I don't like doing this. The chest is very slippery, and it is easy to lose. Can't dash with it. I would just mirror and teleport down to 2 with it.
Yeah, I don't normally see North Side Dark World chest tour. A bit scary for Azurell. Had to make sure he picked up that purple chest again without touching the bear portal. That's kind of precarious.
I'm gonna checkerboard check.
So yeah, we do have Quake Medallion required to get the Misery Mire. We know where that is. It's on the floating island of Death Mountain. May have actually paid off to go there first. Personally, that's what I would have done, knowing Quake was up there first. But it doesn't matter too much. Like, the extra flute towards the Mire doesn't really cost too much. They also do have Desert Palace accessible.
Yeah, no book required for Desert Palace if you got Mirror and Flute.
And the boots, so there's no chance of it being incompletable, and it is a crystal, so I think that actually would have been a good idea to go in there at this point.
Yeah, and with Butter Sword and Fire Rod, they should be pretty good on getting Lambo out real fast.
So we know Quake's up here. We're also going to see what the Turtle Rock Medallion is, and we're going to also be able to pick up 6 items.
And it is Ether, which they already have, so Zelda's going to go ahead and open it up.
Okay, that's interesting. Well, that means Bombos is not going to be in play at all, so we're not going to need flippers for that. I was really hoping that he didn't dive Turtle Rock at this point. It's kind of tempting. You do have Canis Amari, you do have Fire Rod. We're only missing Ice Rod. But there's a lot of other options still. Like, because he can get Quake, you can now access Mire.
Trying the Hookshot Cave, which has the Ice Rod.
Oh, wow, okay.
Yeah, I would probably go ahead and do Turtle Rock at this point.
Yeah, I would definitely just turn around and do it at this point. This is a good time. Actually, so I think we're just looking for the bow and the flippers at this point.
That is it. Zona's doing a good job remembering that Quake is up here.
And there's not a bad chance that one of those is going to be perhaps in Turtle Rock.
And Azurell's going to go ahead and do Desert Palace, it looks like.
I like this. I don't think there's really a reason not to do Desert at this point. I don't think it really saves any time coming back later. Alright, so we've got a Red Mail, Gold Sword, Turtle Rock, and Desert Palace. Should be easy enough for these guys.
And that is still only the second crystal as well with all that. Yeah, I don't think Zealous did do Super Bunny Cave. I think he was too excited about getting the Ice Rod that he just came over here and immediately did this. We'll see if he remembers to check it before he leaves.
I think that's actually a really good decision on his part, because for all he knows, he can hit Go Mode in Turtle Rock and not have to check that at all.
Yeah, there's essentially 6 items in Turtle Rock if you count Mimic Cave, which is part of Turtle Rock.
Ganon disagrees. Ganon seems to think it's part of Death Mountain.
Well, he's also a fan of Weetabix, and that stuff is bad.
Okay, yeah, I had to eat a lot of Weetabix growing up, and that stuff is disgusting. It's almost getting trolled by the Stalfos. The Stalfos camping that ledge can be pretty annoying, because it can actually knock you off pretty easily. Like, normally, if you're on the Samaria platform, you're not going to get knocked off by getting hit by an enemy, but once it's docked at that sort of, like, I guess, platform station, I don't know what else to call it, you're no longer, like, counting as riding it, so you can get knocked off.
Zelda's doing a good job of avoiding the chain jumps in that room. Those things are very scary and can do some of the most damage in one attack in the game.
Yeah, they do. They'll do 2 hearts of red mail, which is still fairly significant. Actually, it might only be 1 heart. I want to say it's 2 though. Smith's is considered Dark World because if you have not collected the item, then the item is in the Dark World. You don't get it in the Dark World, but like that's where it physically is.
I don't think much of consequence was in Desert, so we will see where Azurell goes now. I would hope Dark World Death Mountain. That seems to be the play.
Yeah, there aren't any like super immediate good plays besides that.
Xelnus is going to go ahead and show us Mimic Cave.
I kind of have a feeling. I think it would just be too nice. And I still have pedestal available as an option.
Yeah, both Bow and Flippers. Well, Flippers can't be on pedestal, but Bow can.
Okay, Azrael checking Super Money Cave. We're gonna see what's here. Not much of anything.
Yeah, I mean, pedestal could be Book or Shovel or Magic Powder. And those could lead to Bow.
I'm not sure if Zelda has any potions or anything.
Oh,
we
there's
found
the
the flippers.
flippers.
That is, that's a good find. One of the items we're looking for. Unfortunately, finding that before the bow does open up Ice Palace and Swamp Palace as 2 possible locations for it. I think Zelda's. He doesn't have any potions. He's really being careful here.
Yeah, Torrock can be a dangerous place. He doesn't have powder to turn some of the anti-fairies. He's still going to check Laser Bridge down here. He does have the blue cane, but he also doesn't have half magic, so this can drain magic pretty quick.
Wow, he used that cane right before he, right before the laser struck him. I think we're going to see him bomb open the exit too. Oh, wow, he's actually going for a laser skip dash. I did not expect him to do that in his position with low hearts and having the cane. I think he wanted to save magic, but still.
Again, Torrock is scary.
These lasers actually only do 1 heart of red mail, which really isn't too bad.
Oh, good dash there.
Yeah, that's what the laser skip's supposed to look like. It's going to do another one. It doesn't quite get past, but it's still able to get the chest. And we have a mushroom.
He's got himself a hickory chicken there. It's another southern thing.
Oh, he's setting up a fake powder glitch. With the mushroom that he just got. This is actually like really quick thinking on his part. I like this. Would you like to explain how this glitch works?
Yeah, so basically, if you are out of magic and you use the Cadence of Maria, when you try to make a block, you get that sound. During that sound, if you switch to the mushroom, you will actually use the magic powder, even if you don't have the magic powder. You also, since you're out of magic, you don't use magic for it. That can be used to sequence break into the bad batter. It can be used to turn an anti-fairy into a fairy for safety there.
I don't think I would have thought to use that myself, so it was really cool to see him try that. Unfortunately, didn't manage to pull it off. He's
It's
having no
really
problems with
tricky
Trinex
against
right now.
against one of the moving anti-fairies.
Yeah, it's easy to deal in a magic bet, but he's having like pretty much no problems with Trinex having the gold sword, cleaning it up very easily. The last phase was a little bit out of control, but he's fine now. We're all good. So, we are on a search for a bow right now. I'm actually surprised Zelda didn't go to Super Money Cave. And Zelda finds ammo for the bow, but not the bow itself. After that close call with Trinex, I guess you would like a potion as well.
Yeah, I think Zelda's is going to go ahead and hop into the desert. He's got the mirror out.
Oh yeah, he hasn't done desert yet. So hopefully, for his sake, he'll find a bow and mire. We know it's not in desert already, because Azurell already did this. I have a feeling he'll complete desert at just a little bit before Azurell completes Turtle Rock, and then they'll be fairly close to each other. But yeah, if Bow's and Mire, then that saves having to choose between Swamp and Ice to search for it.
Yeah, I feel like bow is far too often a go mode item. It's like it and Ice Rod. Pretty regularly go mode. I've had Mitts go mode, I've had Flute go mode. But I feel like bow is always like the last thing you find. And, neither of these guys have found silvers yet either. Believe both of them are going to have to do masterless or silverless Ganon. It's just silvers just make it that much faster though.
Yeah, they do have the best sword. It won't be too bad. He's almost doing a hook dash for super speed. But it went the long way around, because when you have super speed, the game thinks that you're in a dash state, and when you're in a dash state, you will instantly pop up a ledge if you touch it. So you wanted to be careful not to jump off, which I don't know if the super speed is worth it at that point.
Yeah, I've done that far too many times on Death Mountain. I only learned how to do super speed a few weeks ago, and I was doing it at every opportunity, and it just hurt me more than it did help me on Death Mountain.
It's too much fun not to do.
I think I've dashed off a ledge far too many times over right by Dark World's Witch's Hut on the way up to the Catfish, dashing up and accidentally jumping in the water.
Yeah, that screen's tough to do it well on. Zelda's trying to get in some sword slashes as well as his fire shots. I think so. The gold sword slash will do the same damage as a fire rod shot on land mollusk, so it'll kill him in 2 hits. But I think on one of them he hit it with a sword beam, which does level 1 sword damage.
So where does Zeldins go from here? I mean, you can go to Swamp or you can go to Ice. You can go to Mire.
He's gonna do Mire since he's right here. And Mire is like really the place that you hope that the bow is in this instance. I think he's going to actually be stuck on the wall here within years. Yep. This is the thing that I do very, very often, and it's really annoying. Like, the best place to drop this mirror portal is like next to the cliff here in the Dark World. And then the best place to walk into it after you come from desert is through the left, which is gonna spawn you inside the wall.
Just in our first look at Misery Mire this race. Zeldin's just bonking across the pit there. You do not have to have hookshot to get in here. It's just makes it a little easier.
Azurell spawning his Samaria platform before picking up that full magic to make absolutely sure that he gets every bit of that magic refill.
And he's also making sure to switch over to his fire rod before the firehead explodes.
Yeah, I think he's having a much cleaner Trinex fight than Xelnos did, which is understandable because Xelnos was at really low health.
Yeah, that was picture perfect. Azrael getting probably around a 30-second Trinex fight.
So if you're Xelnos and you don't find the bow in Mire, where do you go after this?
It's a crapshoot because Swamp has 6 items and it's a crystal. So you have to do it, but man, clearing all of Swamp to look for a bow, that's a long dungeon. Ice is three items, but if you know Ice really well, you can do it relatively quickly. There's still some things you have to do, but yeah, they could also go check Catfish.
There's Catfish looming, yeah. I feel so like Swamp is a crystal and Ice is a pendant, so obviously we have to do Swamp. But the left side check is it's such a time sink. It's like 2 to 3 minutes just for those 2 items.
But I mean, also clearing Swamp or clearing Ice for Xelnus is Pedestal and Green Pendant. So it might as well be 5 items.
I'm just like, I'm mostly wondering, like, obviously swamp is kind of the obvious option. But it being the obvious option, did he just slash that door and make a grass sound? I've seen that on a couple other doors, but I had no idea it happened on that one. Maybe I'm crazy. Anyways, yeah, the swamp, crystal, have to do it, but we could be, like, I don't know if these guys think they're close to each other, or if they think they need to make up time, but it could be, like a metagaming play to try and look for the bow elsewhere.
Well, we'll see if this fish has swallowed a bow somehow. Nope, just 20 rupees, and Azure just immediately mirrors out. Oh, Azure hasn't checked up here yet. So it was smart rallying by him. It just turns out not to be really anything there.
I mean, he tried to come this way so long ago that he died doing fake flipper. This is the best chance that he's gotten since then to come here. I mean, so I guess the real question is, do we do left side swamp?
I don't think you can afford not to.
I have had races decided by that disagree. It's a really tough decision. Like I have lost a race because I checked left side swamp and my opponent didn't, and the Canis and Mario was in the back.
To me, I'd rather be angry at myself for checking it and not needing to than deciding, no, I'm not going to do it, and then realizing I probably should have.
Randomizer is really interesting because of that, because it's like everyone has different philosophies for these kinds of things, and in a lot of cases they aren't necessarily right or wrong, but preference, and one outcome will win certain times and one will win the other times.
I think I watched a match that I've had Gamer Cow, I believe, commentating, and he said that there aren't really necessarily any good or bad play or right or wrong plays. It's just the results are good or bad, and that's one of the really cool things about Randomizer to me.
See, I highly disagree with a blanket statement like that.
Well, I mean, yeah, like going to check Agina, for example, when you could go to Kakariko, for example, but
I think there like definitely are good and bad plays, but there was a lot of situations where multiple options are close enough in viability that it's pretty much a toss-up. But I do kind of think that some plays that are like just like not statistically good are kind of overstated as not a bad play when I don't know. I think there's arguments to a lot of plays being inferior.
it looks like Zelda is going to make the swap play.
This case is like it's hard to say, but like swamp, going to swamp right now is good. Whether he goes to left side or not, I don't know. That's going to be up to him. He did find the blue potion on the trace, which is going to be nice for survival.
Yeah, that's gross, though. I don't want to drink no eyeball gook. Goop.
Yeah, I didn't think about that. That is kind of gross. So I think I want to say they've mostly done the same things up to this point, except I think Azurell has done Catfish and Thomas has not. But Azurell is a few minutes behind. I want to say like 3 to 4 minutes behind, I think.
Yeah, he had a couple unfortunate deaths that really kind of put him back a little bit. He'd be much closer.
Yeah, I did say at the beginning that like the minute and a half or so deficit he had from dying in Pyro Castle may not come into play later, and he would still probably be behind if he didn't have that death, but he would be closer for sure. Like it kind of could have swung either way, but the seed has also been kind of linear.
Yeah, Spike Cave's available as well.
Okay, looks like he's setting it to go left side. This could either be really huge, or it could maybe catch Azurell up if Azurell decides not to do left side. Like, I don't envy Erner's position right now.
No, this is a tricky one. I mean, there's a lot of gambles that you could take here.
Spike Cave, by logic, no longer requires a magic extension if you have the Cane and Perna for it. So it is available, but even so, we do have multiple waddles. All right, let's see if this left side is going to pay off for Zelda.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to Azurell being able to catch up if this doesn't work out. But if this does, Zelnus will be in go mode.
And we just have money, so... I actually, like, honestly, I would have rather seen Map and Compass there. Because that doesn't reduce the amount of potential items you can still find in the dungeon once you see them.
Yeah, Zelnus still got a couple chances here. I guess the big key here.
Oh boy, the big key in the back of the dungeon. I would actually, getting it here, I would go right back up those stairs and go open the big chest, because you've already cleared left side. There is no other reason to go back in to Swamp after. But I have not been counting items, so I don't know if he knows if he's got an item left or not.
Argus should be very quick with Better Sword. Azurell is going to be right behind Xelnas, entering Swamp Palace as Xelnas finishes it up. And there's the bow.
Oh my god.
And that is go mode for Zeldas.
I honestly really did not expect to see that there. Like, when does Swamp ever have anything good? Especially in your way. Okay, so around 1 hour 36 minute 50-second go mode is almost. Now I really want to see if Azurell skips left side. No, it's almost forgot to go into the portal to get to Dark World for Pod. So all they have left to do is Pod and Eastern, and then gain his tower. I suppose the big key location could help decide things.
Yeah, and both of our racers have cleared a lot of pot already, so they just need to. They already got the big key. I don't know if they have an extra small key, but
I'm pretty sure they both need just one key from the right side.
Yeah, Xelnas is going immediately to the right side.
Okay, so Azrael is skipping left side. This is going to be really good to help him catch up. I also do not have silvers yet, so if we don't find them, then certain aspects of the non-silvers execution could also come into play. But Zelda is still leading by probably a good 2 to 3 minutes.
A lot can happen in 2 to 3 minutes.
Yeah, I don't think it's particularly likely, but we could still have a gain and fall. Like one from Zelda's would close most of the gap at this point. Oh no, okay. He's going back for the big key, the big chest. Okay. He's not going to the left side. That's why I was concerned.
Yeah, it's not that much of a time loss, but it's much less of a time loss than left side.
Check if skipping left side is a common play because it's a very large time sink for just 2 locations. And if you go through the rest of the dungeon, you kind of get more information as to, like, especially if you're 1 or 2 items away from go mode, and you get those items, you just completely skip left side with no worries. You don't lose that much time from going back in versus just doing it unnecessarily. Xelnas's gold sword helping a lot in the struggle room, letting him kill the turtles with 1 slash each. It's gonna kill Helmasaur in 2 hits after it breaks that mask too. And the thing about, like I said, in Xelnas's position, I would have done the big chest play, like go back and get it after big key. But the thing is, he already did left side, so he had 0 other reasons to go back in. Azurell had another reason to go back in because he skipped left side. So he could have done the big chest then. But, of course, found the bow on Argus. That's his go mode at around 1 hour and 41 minutes. So we actually have... It's actually around a 5-minute difference. I underestimated it.
Yeah, going back in for 1 item versus 3 items is pretty big, especially this late in the game.
So 5 minutes this late in this game, especially with the amount of good equipment that they have, it's going to be pretty hard to make this time up.
Yeah, Azrael can always do right side G tower if Zelda does left side.
Yeah, that could close the gap. We could also see, like, 5% chance of a tile rim gamble paying off, but it's like, it's something you almost never see because you never know how close you are to your opponent or not. But it's almost as extremely likely to win this at this point. If you do Silverless Cannon fight well, Silver Arrows don't save all that much time. They save maybe 30 seconds. I know from watching Zeldas do vanilla speedruns that actually, I can't quite remember now that I think about it. I'm pretty sure he can do Silverless though. He might take some extra time on it, but I'm certain that he can do it.
He's just rapid firing those arrows off, getting a big heart in the process.
Alright, so Zelnos has got his 7th crystal. You know what time it is?
It is time to yell out numbers in chat.
Alright, so get your guesses in for where you think the funny shaped key is going to be in Ganon's Tower. Numbers are counted in the order that Zelmas is going to open chests and check locations.
I don't want to say a number, but I will say it is going to be in the 4 Fire Snake room.
I think I'm gonna say 1.
Just right there in that first chest.
I've seen it often enough lately.
Yeah, I'm not sure what the number is, but yeah, I'm gonna say the 4 fire stink room.
Okay, so Azrael is an eastern completion and a Death Mountain trip behind.
There's a magic powder. Zelda is. You gonna go ahead and do the? Nope. Never mind. He's about to do the tile room, but realized he didn't have a small key.
Yeah, it's really common to see at least one key in there, so it's easy to slip up on that kind of thing.
He's gonna go ahead and grab the cape off the torch.
Wow, all the safety items just right in here.
I just want just once, like the cape to be in Gannis Tower and like Red Cane be on Cape Ledge.
Fetch quest stuff too, like that book. So, kind of unfortunate, I think, that the right side first 2 chests didn't have a key. Because unless they're going to do a crazy unconventional route, this kind of removes most of the chances that they're going to take different routes in Ganon's Tower.
So I believe this is number 8 here.
Well, who knows? We might just see them clear the entire thing. Oh wow, Zelda's locking himself inside the switch box. Azrael having some trouble with the Armos fight, getting him out of control.
Alright, here's the chest with the big key. Oh, nope. Half magic, though. Just every little luxury item you could want is here in Gannis Tower.
It's a good thing we had Verna and Goldsword outside of it. Like, this is a crazy amount of safety items. They would have been, they would have had a pretty tough time otherwise. They also had a good amount of hearts and red mail. But there are so many, like, things in here that make the game much easier that they didn't have access to.
So we just had chest number 13, I believe.
Zelda's checking the hole near the right edge of that room. It does not have a chest in it.
I mean, hey, he's thorough.
He didn't check all the holes though, which I think is interesting. You just decided to gamble that one. Oh wow, yeah. He could have easily not gone to that chest before bombing the floor open. I've actually seen somebody in the lead lose a race because of bombing the floor open too early, falling down, not having checked that chest. And it wasn't because there was something required in the chest. It was because they chose to go all the way back to Armos just to check it.
And it is going to be a right side chest.
We could actually So if Azurell does, I guess what's known as the Dark Magician route, because he seems to like to do that route. But if you go straight left and then mirror out of the Stalfos room, you would then have a key for right side, and you'd be able to do this in one go. And like that's the only way at this point you'd have the option to do right side first in any capacity. I kind of don't think he's going to do it. It's not that common of a play. He's probably just going to go left side.
And there we go. I did not get the number on that one.
I think it's 20. That's a pretty late big key, but the routing, like the small key not being available to start, does kind of railroad you into this.
Yeah, and as long as Xelnas executes well.
He's taken some time to set the mimics up properly in these two rooms. Due to not having silvers, they don't get one shot. And like the way mimics work, they don't. If you're inputting a direction, they will move. Even if you're not moving, all that matters is that you're pressing the direction. So if you're unable to move because you're swinging your sword or you're grabbing a wall or the like, then you can manipulate them to be where you want them to.
Like the falling to get invisibility frame, so you can just dash through the cannonball run.
It's actually faster in like over 90% of cases, just as a walk.
Yeah.
If you don't know the strats for dashing through the cannonballs. Like there's only one cannonball RNG out of I think 32 possible, where it is faster to get the iframes and dash.
I think I heard Cross Product call it Ganon Ball Run one day, and I just laugh at it every time I hear it now.
It's traditionally by the vanilla speedrun community. It's called Cannonball Z. Zelda's having some trouble with these Lambos, despite having Fire Rod and Gold Sword. He's missing a lot of these shots. Luckily, he has half magic. And I think he also pokes one of the Lambolas with the Gold Sword, which doesn't do enough damage to kill it in 2 hits. Azurell actually using the Gold Sword on Armos. I'm not really sure why.
Yeah, even with Gold Sword, they take a lot of slashes. They're really weak to arrows, but swords do Little to no damage against them.
They only take 6 slashes from Gold Sword. It's definitely like by far the best sword to be using on them. But he still had arrows. Oh, you know what? He wanted to save his arrows from mimics, that's why.
Yeah, he's only got 16 arrows.
There's like no guarantee that you're gonna get arrows here. In vanilla, what you can actually do if you run out of arrows is you can come down to the first room on the right here, and one of the chests has them. But in Randomizer, obviously, it has something random, so you can't depend on that. Another good option for Armos, if you're in a bind and you're low on arrows, and you don't have the gold sword, is use a rod. There's
Zelda's taking
also
them all.
rods are also only 6 hits. He's trying to follow Moldorm's movements closely to be able to hit the tail as soon as Moldorm turns around. I think he was probably just a bit too close last time.
Oh man, Cyclone in chat is a witch.
Wow. Like, if you don't have silvers, it's really common to check that chest, looking for them, obviously, the last chest in the game. But it's so rare, I think, that you actually see it given to you.
Our tracker Cyclone actually called it.
Like, I want to say it's more like a wishful thinking kind of thing than an actual call.
Just give the kid their time in the moment. Zelda's not having a good time against this Aghanim here.
Yeah, unfortunately he actually got 0 hits on a pretty good setup for 2, because he got a blue ball to the face and that prevented her from flashing a really easy energy. Alright, going into the Ganon fight, I think at this rate, he's like just barely going to miss out on a sub 2 time. Which I want to say that's how one of his other races went as well. Just barely above 2 hours. But this fight should be super easy for him. Like, after everything is in Ganon's tower, he basically has every safety in the game.
Making good use of the cape here.
Putting in a very, very excessive amount of slashes into Ganon. It's only 6 hits for each phase. The Golden Sword. The first 2 phases, that is. Might be taking out his frustrations with the seed.
Yeah, it was a tricky seed. Oh, did Ganon start saying, in my tower? Last time I played, he asked, if you found this, silver arrows in Ganon's tower.
I feel like that change was not that recent.
I think it was from when I was watching, old, video on demands of the old, last year's tournament.
Yeah, it might have been.
But
Azurell
Zelda's...
having a bit of a better lane motif, but sorry. But yeah, Zelda's taking down Ganon, about to walk into that Triforce room and secure his first win in this tournament.
Finally! Zelda's, how are you?
My execution was. Oh shoot! I'm on speed game. My execution was poor, especially in GT. Well, okay, only in GT. My GT execution killed sub 2.
Yeah,
Also, I
think
couldn't fight Landmolus today. That too.
I feel like that change was not that recent.
Yeah,
I've killed Landmolus with 4 fire rod shots before, but today
I think it was from when I was watching old video on demands of the old last year's tournament.
Yeah, it might have been.
That seed was weird. I don't know
But
how
Zelda's
it's too hard to tell.
A bit of a better Lamoti fight, sorry. But yeah, Zelda's both taking down about to walk into that Triforce room. You both and cleared pretty much exactly the same things in a very, very different order.
Zelda's, how
well,
are you?
I mean, you can't avoid. The only thing that you could technically avoid was Eastern. Eastern's like the only thing that didn't have something of importance. Everything else was important. Like every other area of the game was important in some way. I guess Zora area was it?
Yeah, I think it came.
Yeah, but for like this seed was all over the place.
I don't think Purple Chest was important. I don't think Graveyard Ledge is important. And like you guys both checked a lot of stuff before doing Aga, and then even after that, before realizing that well, you both did. You needed what was it? You both.
I needed gloves or hammer.
Exactly the same. Yeah, that's right. To get to North Dark World. That was very, very different order.
I walked up there. I'm like, wait a second. I know that this is when I realized it, I was like, I knew this is possible, but it dawned on me it's never actually happened to me before. I've never had hook shot, but not flippers, gloves, or hammer. Never before have I had that scenario where I had to go do something else.
Yeah, I was saying like you guys probably. I don't actually know. Oh my god! Azurell is slashing the Moldorm 2 chest and he's skipping it.
No! Don't! No, friend.
That's
okay.
This is so funny.
So, guys, there's this thing called like a meme, and it's funny. Validation chest or Moldorm's chest or whatever you want to call it. It's funny. Yes, the fact that there's a chest in the game that will never have progression ever. The thing is it can, because silvers are technically progression. So
I don't think they are anymore.
Are they not?
I don't think so.
Well, I mean, nothing falls behind Ganon.
I don't think tempered counts as progression either anymore.
No, I mean tempered doesn't lock anything. But like it's okay, fine. It's not progression, but I mean that's why the chest that's why people check that chest for exactly this scenario. I freaked out when that happened. Like I actually audibly freaked out.
I believe it. Oh, what? Oh my god! That last hit from Azrael in his Aghanim 2 fight hit him frames before Aghanim became invulnerable with that last energy ball.
Wait, what? I just saw it. What? That's nuts. Whoa.
Yeah, we were at one point talking about when you went into Thieves Town, if you would actually try to lift the block at the bottom or not, but you unfortunately found gloves beforehand.
Well, I mean, I don't think that they're quote unquote required, but like the silvers can be literally anywhere, right? Like Ganon doesn't lock anything behind him in standard. In Insanity entrance shuffle, he technically can, because technically Ganon can block progression by his drop down lead into something unique. I've seen it happen once watching entrance, which is an interesting thing. But no, that was nuts, man.
Well, he might get the hint. He might think they're in Tower in, but there's a pretty good chance that to him that is in that chest as well.
Right? Oh man. So like, I realized, like, when I had the mirror and I found the Master Sword and the lamp, like when I found all three of those pieces, that was when I decided I was going to do what's it called? Right. That's when I was going to do the. Like, I wasn't going to do Eastern in Light World. I was just going to go to Aga because I had all the pieces to just do it, and the chances of having both hammer and gloves be in Eastern and Sashrilla is like super low. So compared to it being anywhere else. So I just was like, yeah, I'll just do Eastern and Pod at the same time. So that seems weird though. I haven't had to, that was some weird routing. I think my only mistake is I probably shouldn't have completed like Thieves Town. Like major routing mistake. I probably should have just like mirrored out of Thieves Town. After the first floor was so good.
Yeah, you got boots and gloves there.
Yeah.
And,
well, and that confirmed that I didn't make some weird routing error by doing Adenum. So I was feeling like from that point on, I felt really good. Every moment up until finding the gloves, I was actually super worried that I was like forgetting something. Like maybe both gloves were in like Waterfall Cave or something stupid. Because I hadn't done that yet.
Yeah, you all were actually overall pretty close. Azrael just had a couple of early deaths that just put him just a bit behind. He died fighting the Ball and Chain Knight in the escape.
Yeah,
and then,
that guy's annoying. I liked that. Did he find the 8 bombs at least?
Yes, he got a drop on that.
Okay, good.
It was mostly he ran out of magic, and the green guard chased him into the room with the pots and knocked him out when he had the last pot, and he took a intentional death instead of resetting the pots.
Dang.
Yeah, I think he wasn't like really thinking clearly about what to do, and probably hadn't been in that situation before.
When I found when I found the 8 bombs, I was like, I guess I'm gonna incorporate bombs into my strats now because it's slightly faster, or it's probably not even, but I like throwing bombs at things, I guess.
He had just
I don't know.
2 really unfortunate deaths, getting sniped by Azora and the blue guard when trying to fake flipper.
172 of like the 4 seeds, 3 of which were simmed, and this one played. This is my lowest collection rate.
Okay.
4 seeds.
Not to interrupt, but
Azrael
getting down finally, and
Nice.
So he's finished with the SRTV time of 2:08:37. Zelma's time, official time, was 2:00:38.
Azurellespeed. Don't not take validation chest when you could still get silvers.
I know. I chose to do that because I was just frustrated because I died way too many times. So you finished, I'm like, I will do silvers because of my penance of dying.
Fair enough.
That was a very good run, though. Happy birthday.
Thank you very much. I appreciate it. Was silvers in that last chest?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Of course it was.
That was hilarious watching you skip that, especially with slashing the chest out of frustration.
That's just my luck. Ugh. If I didn't try to fake flipper twice and die, it would have been much closer.
Did you try fake flip in post Adenum? Because that's like way harder.
I said it was easier. How's it harder?
There's 2 of those guys, and when you come out of little warp instead of just 1.
Yeah, but they can't hit you, can they? Maybe the red guard can with his spear, but the archer is more dangerous, I think.
The archer, yeah, the archer is more dangerous technically, but I've actually, it's been like, it feels like years since the last time the archer like even got aggroed by me swimming. So I'm like more afraid of the two guys there. Maybe I'm just thinking of Randomizer too much, where like those 2 guys can be like a chain chomp.
Yeah, it was both pre-Agnum that I died. I got stuck on the upper rock while swimming, so the archer hit me with an arrow, and then the second time I got pegged with a blast from one of the Zoras.
Someone's lost didn't stop his timer. I do that to trigger a single person. That's it. Oh, I didn't realize that the tree is only cut in the credits if you knocked it. Wait, what? Is it always cut in the credits? Or is it only if you kill Agnum? I don't know.
I think it's always.
Oh, okay. I realized I didn't knock it down. I thought that scene was going to be kind of more silly. I thought that like both Bombos and Quake were going to be needed in that seed, and you have to like go up to the mountain to grab Quake, to grab Flippers and Meyer, to grab Bombos to get into Turtle Rock to get something. That's what I thought the seed was going to be. It was a little bit nicer than it could have been. I honestly, until that bow dropped off of him, I was fully committed to doing Pedestal. I was like,
I
100.
know.
I was not going to what's his face, Catfish. If Catfish was progression, I was gonna lose, 100% that race.
Well, since I died to you try and do fake flipper, I had to go back up to Zora, so I routed that in all at the end to get Zora in there. But I almost did pedestal also. I started off getting Tower Hera pendant right
that was
away.
my first. Yeah, that was my first That was my first dungeon done. Did you do Eastern before or after Agnum?
I went in before, and
I
then
went in after. I just we had the mirror, so I was like, yeah.
It's like just bombs were on pedestal.
Nice. Good. I feel good about that. It should have been sub 2, but my execution in the end was like super bad. It wasn't even sub 2 in game time. Feels bad.
Yeah, I think same thing. I should have had a sub 2. If I didn't die, at least a half dozen times, it would have been easily sub 2 with this run. So it's a little frustrating from my end.
Yeah. So, Azrael, I'm curious, what was your plan on where to go? Had you not found Bow on Argus?
I wasn't sure. I was trying to rack my brain what overworld spots I really didn't check. And I almost was, if I didn't find Bo there, I was going to take a dip into Ice Palace. I didn't want to, but it was the most logical, had, the most spots that Bo could be. And lately, all my seeds had an item in Pendant Ice Palace. So this is the first one that I've had in a while that didn't.
I'm just glad I didn't get screwed by Pendant Pod this time. That's all.
Yeah, shoutouts to Pendant Pod.
Shoutouts. Although I hate like Pendant, me and I think it was me and Jem. Like every time we see Pendant Thieves Town, we have the same opinion, and that is this seed doesn't deserve to exist. Pendant Thieves is the most annoying pendant in the game because you have to do Thieves Town every time. Like there's no seed you don't enter Thieves Town in, so it just feels weird and bad.
Agreed. And when I got, what was it? I think one of the items in Thieves Town, I almost said, I'm not going to continue. I'm like, you know what? I already did one pendant. I might as well do another just in case this is a pedestal seed. I'll get 2 out of the way.
Yeah, no, I enjoyed everything that I did. I felt like I did okay. I'll look over the VOD though this time for once.
So what was interesting to me, sorry if I cut you off.
No, go ahead.
What was interesting to me was, so Azrael decided to do Hype Cave first as soon as I got the hammer. And then take, walk the left path through the grove and dig the game first before doing the required loop to Village of Outcasts, which Zelnus did first. And so he got his first gloves from the digging game right away at that point. And Zelnus got his first from Thieves. So I was actually wondering, since Azrael got Titan's Mitt in Thieves, I was wondering if that was going to play into a possible decision to just not do Thieves, like not do the rest of it. Whereas Zelnus, I imagine you felt like you had to a little bit more.
Yeah, I felt like there might have been more. Like boots and gloves was already like, wow, that's 2 huge items. I could leave now and be pretty happy. But I was like, well, what if Titans are here? Just boots and Titans is like the best. uh,
Yeah, I did not want to have to double dip thieves. That's why I continued through. I'm like, it could be one of those things where bow is somewhere else in here, and I don't want to have to come back and redo it. And since it's relatively quickly to finish, I'm like, I might as well just finish thieves down.
no, I think that I just need a bit more practice, get more consistent. I think I can get into the brackets. Although it'll be hard being 2 losses already, but I think it's possible.
Yeah, it's kind of like stacked against you at this point. But having 2 losses like right at the start, you have the advantage that all of your opponents going forward are going to be people who have also lost twice.
Yeah, my one of my losses being like within like a minute was like pretty rough. That weighed heavily on me. But yeah, with X and 2, I think only 4 people who start X and 2 move on. So
I said that in the Discord earlier, and I think I was like way off when I said that because I wasn't like thinking of the math correctly. Like someone called me out on that within a few minutes, and I was just like, "Oh yeah, I'm dumb, and I shouldn't have said
that
that."
makes me feel better. I'm just gonna continue to think I have like a super low chance, because it'll make me not become complacent.
Okay, because like the thing is, like once some of the people who are 0 and 2 win a match, they'll be mixed in with all the people who are 1 and 2, and then 2 and 2, and so on. So, like a lot of those people are going to funnel down from the losers of the 1-1 matches, etc. So my math really was not accurate at all.
My goal, since this was my first tournament, was just to win 3 matches. So we'll see how that goes. I was getting excited a little bit because I got to GT and I'm like, wow, Zelda hasn't finished yet. I don't know what's going on right now.
I was pretty worried.
Did you have your other 2 races? Like I don't think they were restreamed, but the other 2 races, did your opponent finish before you went into GT?
The other 2 races were restreamed. The first one, I took a death up an early death mountain and totally forgot in my head I did it. So I had to forfeit. I couldn't remember a spot. I rechecked the entire overworld, and I think that was at like 2 hours and 20 minutes. But he only finished around that same time, so that wasn't that bad. And then the second one is because I couldn't do Darkroom Mire. I tried, and I'd spent too much time taking potions and trying to do it that I was finished within like 20 minutes of him.
I see. So, no setbacks that were like quite or nearly as major this race. It's a step in the right direction, at least.
Yeah, overall, I'm happy with some of the routing I did, some are overall, but early death in Escape and those couple deaths that I'd taken, especially in the overworlds, were costly. If I was a little bit more careful and didn't worry about it, it would have been a little bit closer, I think.
Yeah, that early death in Escape was really a shame. Like that's got to feel bad right off the start.
Yeah, and I'm usually happy with getting Burna in Escape because generally my magic consumption is pretty okay, but that green guard in the where Zelda was just was a pain. It just was in my way, and it made me drop a pot, and that was it.
Yeah, like I think I saw you took an intentional death to refill your magic, but like if you had gone upstairs and then back down to refill the pots, that green guard, I think if you'd killed it, would have been dead. And then you could have killed the ball and chain guard and then died, I think.
That might have been a little better. It was the first time I died in Escape, so I wasn't really sure. I'm like, I know I get refill magic. I'll just take the death and go back down.
Yeah, it's like definitely this kind of thing hasn't happened to me before, but like for future reference, probably a better thing to do.
Well, good luck in your next round, Azurell.
You too, Zelnus. I'll hopefully win. Like I said, my goal is win 3. So if I can get to 3-3, 3-4, 4-3, I'd be happy.
That's good.
So I think should probably wrap this up soon. Any final thoughts you guys haven't gotten out already that you'd like to say?
I'd like one of these like fast seeds I can commentate into play for once. That would be cool. Like a 120 collection rate or a 140 collection rate.
Yeah, that would be a lot of fun. Like most of my seeds have been go mode around, an hour 45, hour 30 something. And if you can get go mode like an hour, that would be nice, or even less. I haven't had a seed that fast yet, so I think my fastest time was about 152. So this is even close to PB.
All right. Well, thanks guys for the race. It was pretty close throughout most of it. Like the decisions that you guys made kind of added up to be the same towards the end, just in a different order.
Well, I'd like to thank you guys for commentating, especially since it is my birthday now, and it was fun to have a race on my birthday and have it restreamed. So thank you very much. Appreciate it. Zelnus, GG. Thanks for the good race.
And if you enjoyed this race, you can follow the runners at the links in chat. And I'd also like to thank Cyclone for tracking. It does a lot of tracking, very good at it.
Mm-hmm.
And I think with that, I will sign off. I've been Elminster, and I think I'll throw the last word to my co-commentator.
I just want to say thank you all for putting on a good race for us. Thank you all for letting us commentate. This is Virtua Cat, and I want to say good night to everybody, and a final happy birthday to Azurell. You all have a great night.
Thank you very much. Good night.
Good night, everyone.